What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back again with another video, and this one right here is all about the situation with Kimberly and Usman. But before we get into it, let's start off by giving a big massive shout out to every single person that is a member of the channel, that is a member of Patreon, and that is a subscriber as we continue to grow. Now here's the thing though, ladies and gentlemen, I most recently did receive an email, and this email stuff in particular was talking about the Usman and Kimberly situation. And when we talk about the situation, we're talking about the fact that Usman has now requested that he is allowed to adopt his nephew from his brother. And him adopting his nephew and his brother would allow him to then actually marry Kimberly. So, of course, this all came about purely because Kimberly and Usman found out that Usman cannot go back to Nigeria to marry another woman whilst married to Kimberly, because polygamy is something that is illegal in America. So, of course, the alternative from Usman was that he would then adopt his nephew, who then become his son, and take him to America for a better life. That was exactly what he said. But here's the thing though, let's break down some of the complications and how this storyline just really wouldn't work. And if it did work, I mean, let's put it this way. It looks like Kimberly and Usman will probably be a part of 90 Day Fiancé for the next 9 years, maybe roughly, based on the timeline that's been provided to me. So here's the thing. First and foremost, when it comes to Nigerians in the USA, when it comes to who's on top of the list for fraudulent behavior in terms of using American citizens to get in the USA, Nigerians are one of those countries that is on top of that list. So straight away, they're already on the blacklist. They're already on that red flag list. They're already on that warning, right? Okay, cool. So we know that it's going to take a very long time for him to even get that approval. I mean, Michael is still waiting. I mean, well, maybe Michael has his one now, but it's been a very long time since he's been allowed to have a pass or a visa just to get into America. That's if he has got one, of course. That is still yet to be confirmed. But here's the thing though, when it comes to Usman, you see, for him, if he was to adopt his brother's son, he would have to live with his brother's son in America for 2 years. For 2 years in his homeland before actually applying for the K1 visa. So even applying for the visa at this moment in time, it wouldn't mean a single damn thing, because there needs to be that recognition that this child is actually his and he has spent time with this child for some time. And from what I've been told, it is 2 years. If that's incorrect, let me know in the comment section. But from what I've been told and a little bit of research, that is pretty much how long it would be. So straight away, we know that that's a 2-year wait in Nigeria for a bit longer. Okay, cool. Now, also on top of that as well, at the same time, when it comes to Usman actually getting the K1 visa that Kimberly would obviously have to apply for, of course, this means that Usman would have to be married to Kimberly. But here's the thing, if he's going to adopt the boy, that means he cannot necessarily come to the States right now, which means that getting married to Kimberly right now to get to the States sooner isn't something that is even an option. But here's the thing though, we know that Michael and Angela got married in Nigeria. And even though they got married in Nigeria, it didn't necessarily do much different because Michael is still in Nigeria, right? But given the fact that in the most recent episode, Kimberly is going back to Nigeria, and this time with Jamal, and she has stressed highly that she will not get married to Usman unless Jamal gives her approval, tells me that the real agenda of her going to Nigeria is to actually marry him. She's taken her son so he can be the witness, so he can be the family's, there's a support member from the family to get married, because it does make sense for her to get married with her son there. Now, of course, we don't know, or I don't know, if what I'm telling you right now is going to be a part of, is what's going to happen. And if it does happen, is it going to be a storyline given to us by TLC that's been scripted, or is it generally what the plan is going to be? Either way, let's continue. So now, bear in mind, we've got the 2 years we've got to wait for this moment in time. 2 years we have to wait for, given the fact that he does adopt. Now, even if he does adopt the young man, and they do get married in Nigeria. And let's not forget, Kimberly has been seen in one of her pictures earlier on, which was spotted by baby girl Lisa, of her wearing a wedding ring. And obviously that then showed us that maybe they are already married, which means they could have got married in this season. And for that marriage to happen, it would have had to have been in Nigeria. So I wouldn't be surprised that by the end of this season of Happily Ever After, we see a marriage happen in Nigeria, of where Kimberly and Usman do get married. But of course, even in that moment in time, Kimberly would then come back to the States by herself, or of course with her son. Usman would have to stay in Nigeria anyway, because of course she needs to come back and file for the K1 visa. But of course, if he's going to be bringing a child with him, then of course there is then that 2-year gap. Now, also on top of that, when it comes to finding the K1 visa itself alone anyway, that itself alone can take a certain amount of time. And really and truly, that can take up to, I believe, about 9 months to a year, maybe a little bit longer. So you still got that process anyway. So that's another year added on from him even coming to the States. Now, of course, if he does then get it, there is a part of when he does actually come to the States in particular. Now, remember, right now we are on a 3-year space here. Now, let's say he does end up coming to America after the 3 years. At this moment in time, though, there is still that 5 years he needs to be in America for until we can actually get that green card. Now, of course, everything that I'm telling you here, it isn't all necessarily 100% to the point or to a fact, because it changes for everyone. It is very different on how it all works. Not everybody has the same timeline. So please do not quote me on what I'm saying for it to be like 100% legit, because again, it's something that can change for different people, okay? But yes, going back though to the timeline itself in particular. Now, if we're also looking at this, we're now at a stage where if you're adding in the 5 years of him having to be an American until he can get that green card, that is now 8 years. 8 years of obviously the whole process. Now, here's the thing though. In that time, Kimberly is going to have to be liable for Usman. She's going to have to be able to she's basically going to be the financial provider. And when we're looking at the situation in particular here, is this a situation that is fully worth it for Kimberly? Because the thing that we have to highlight here is that if Usman does adopt this young man, he then does bring the young man to America. Kimberly is then liable to pay for the young boy and also to pay for Usman until Usman can actually get his work visa or work permit. Now, of course, the work permit, again, can take a various amount of time. But also, let's not forget, though, the 5-year mark is where it really matters the most, because within that time, Usman will not be able to necessarily go back home, because he has to wait until he gets his green card before he can go back home. Because if he goes back home without the green card, there's a chance that when he goes back home, they may not let him back in to the States again. So there's also that part of it as well. And there's so many logistics that obviously isn't really being thought about when it comes to the whole situation with Usman and Kimberly, and how what they're doing is pretty much one head of a risk, which therefore comes to the conclusion of this video. I don't know why I just froze for a second there. I really don't know why I just froze there. But this is the conclusion of the video and basically where I'm coming at here, ladies and gentlemen. If Usman and Kimberly go through with this plan, best believe that means they are going to be a part of 90 Day Fiancé for at least the next 8 years. Maybe 6 years. Because look at Angela and Michael. How long have they now been a part of 90 Day Fiancé franchise? Legit, I'm actually asked that question because I'm not too sure if it's been 3, 4, maybe 5 years. But it's been some years now, and it's gone by quite quickly, right? And at the end of the day, why is Michael and Angela still a part of 90 Day Fiancé? Because Michael has not made it to America yet. That is why they're still a part of it. And that is why 90 Day Fiancé prioritize Angela and Michael so much. And that's why they keep bringing her back so many times, no matter how much she does things that she just shouldn't be doing. Point blank, period. Okay? Whether it's things, and these are things I'm not saying she shouldn't be doing in camera. These things that she just shouldn't be doing in life in general. But the fact is, though, we've been force-fed them for a long time. Best believe Usman and Kimberly, they are going to be force-fed for us for that much longer, because at the end of the day, rest assured, with or without the kid getting involved in the situation, right? This is them being a part of this storyline, and the storyline is going to be a big part of their existence on the 90 Day franchise season. So therefore, they're going to be here for at least, like I said, I reckon 6 years minimum. 6 years minimum. They're going to be a part of the franchise until Usman can finally get to America and XYZ. But hey, you guys let me know exactly what you're thinking down below. Because also at the same time, let's not forget though, Usman also has to provide proof. Well, Kimberly has to provide proof of why he should be granted this green card. Why does he deserve it? Well, that's another question, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Because obviously Michael's had to prove that time and time again. Usman now, on the other hand, his situation is actually a whole lot more challenging, because Michael's just bringing himself. Usman's looking to bring a child with him as well. Now that is another twist to the tale. And the fact that he's looking to bring a child with him as well is something that can definitely complicate things even more. Even more. And the more I think about it, it's getting a bit sticky now. It's actually getting a little bit more tricky now. Damn. Is it really all worth it? By the time Usman makes it to America, let's believe his musical career is done out here. I mean, that's a lie. He hasn't got a musical career anyway. It's already done out here. It's already finito. He has no music career. It is just blank. You know what I mean? Because we know it's atrocious, right? But for him to have any goals of this international superstardom, whatever, it's a myth. Because by the time he makes it to the States, yeah, like, I mean, I guess in that time he's got an opportunity to do something like a Burna Boy or Davido, and that's just do what you can to explode in your own country, or like a Naira Marley. You know what I mean? Just do what you can to explode in your country as much as you can, and then by the time you come to the States, you're that much of a household in your country that you can now make an impact in the USA. But at the same time, though, even when you're a household in your country, it doesn't always make an impact in the USA. That doesn't always happen. You know what I mean? Let's not get it twisted. I've seen it with so many other artists that have come from their country where they're superstars, megastars. They go into America, yeah, it's not happened. It's been peak. Nonetheless, though, ladies and gentlemen, let me know exactly what you are thinking when it comes to the situation with Usman and Kimberly. Do you think this is a situation, something particular that is even worth doing? And also, do you think that this is just TLC locking them in and that's it? We're going to have these guys in for the next 6 years minimum, or something like that, you know, obviously on our TV screens, you know, because obviously it's a couple that they want to keep bringing back in because of the drama, just like Angela Deem and Michael. But hey, you guys let me know what you're thinking down below and we'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and peace.